It's Antonio. I wanted to talk about a very core concept. I think this is really where this work, of course, it's based on the idea of needs. You know, if we go back to maybe the first thing that Marshall Rosenberg talks about is that everything that we do to meet a need. But I think maybe it's also important just to figure out what needs are, what do they mean, how do they play out in our lives, things like that. So maybe this is kind of like a great starting point sometimes also to understand what this whole NVC, nonviolent communication thing is about. So this whole concept about needs, personally for me, I remember hearing about this for a while, and I think it made more sense when I came into this work to understand the differences between, what needs are and also what they're not. So maybe we'll start with, what do we look at as needs? So in this work, that we kind of like to define needs as they are just a few ways to put it for you. So if you think of someone who doesn't have any needs, um, they wouldn't be alive. I mean, try it for yourself. If somebody really, really has no needs, right? And we'll get into it a little bit more. But if you have no needs, you're not alive technically. So then that would make needs, you could say, a part of life, right? Around here, we also like to call them the impulses of life, just a way for us to think about and make sense of this thing that we're having called the human life. And it's something that we are sharing together. We all have a life, a human existence. And so needs are a way for us to be able to go ahead and understand the whole concept of life. Why are we doing what we're doing? Because maybe this helps us, this idea of needs, right? And the definition of it. Needs are the impulses of life. Everything that we do to meet a need. So if we start breaking down the needs idea a little bit more, needs are an experience that you have. And we'll start talking about the differences between both things. So needs are, like, as an example, let's say understanding, right? And I know what it feels like in my body when I receive understanding. And I also know what it feels like when I don't have understanding, right? It's an experience, it's an energy, right? As we like to say, the same way that the wind is energy, right? You can feel it on your skin. You can see the experience of it around you. That's how needs, right, play out for us. They are an energy. Similar to the wind, you're never going to see the wind, but you will feel the experience of it. You're never going to see a need, however, you will see someone meeting their need, right? You're going to see yourself meeting needs. So maybe some examples of things that we do. So this differentiation that I'm going to jump into now. So I kind of talked about what needs are, maybe defining them a bit. But now let's talk about our examples of things that we do to meet our needs. So money is not a need. We might say we need it, but it's not a need. However, I go to work, right? Or I do things to earn money because it's going to bring me a sense of security, maybe peace of mind. So the differentiation here is that there's a difference between the things that we do to get our needs met, which we can call strategies, and our needs, which are that abstract energy that I was talking about when I was defining this. So they obviously work together. I want to take care of my need for security, for peace of mind, for food, for shelter. Those are all needs. And, making money with a job is going to help me to take care of those needs. So that's the difference there. We do things, right? We take action. We say things. We even think things to meet needs. right? But that differentiation is very important because strategies are not needs. And I think that that's something to really, really remember, that there's a clear differentiation. That's why a person is not a need, right? However, they might be helping us and contributing to our needs, right? So, someone like a friend, I wasn't born with a friend. However, I enjoy their company in my life because they're helping, with needs like for friendship, for fun, for discovery. So that's the difference between both things. And so, one of the things I always suggest for people to do to try this out there in the in the world is, when like start looking for needs, right? So when you see someone on the street walking, maybe it's for movement, maybe it's for air, right? Uh, if they're on their phone while they're walking, maybe that's about connection, maybe closeness. And so, as you can tell, we start being able to go ahead and make connections. The more, as I like to say, the more that you look for needs, the more that you're going to just start seeing them over and over again, even in yourself. So, I'll finish this off with a few examples. So, in my own personal life, I'll give you some examples of some of the things that I do to meet my needs. So, I like to play drums. And if you take a moment to just guess what could be some needs going on there, fun, learning, discovery. I love listening to music, of course, while I'm playing the drums. So it gives me a way to have some self connection, like to connect with the music that I really love and to be able to play it out on drums at the same time. So yeah, those are some of the needs at play there, of course. And I'll give you one more. For example, I like going to the gym. Right. So what could be some needs there? If you imagine like, okay, so I'm going to the gym, what could be some possibilities of some needs happening there? Well, for me, right, and even if you want to take some guesses for yourself, community. I really enjoy the people in the classes that I go to. I love learning. For me, there's always something new to learn in my gym classes. I think I would also say I enjoy. It's a relaxing, fun environment, so I really enjoy just like a sense of shared reality with people there. Like we're all just like, working on something challenging, but also just having fun. So yeah, maybe a sense of shared reality with people there. So I hope that this was helpful. I think this core concept of needs, of course, is something that is the base and the foundation of this work. So if you want to learn more, please visit our website, nycnvc.org. And I hope that this was helpful. Thanks. Bye for now.